on Facebook Live. I'm Alice Lada, your host, and he is back, Don Jorge.
Don Jorge, el alacrán.
The alacrán.
I've been doing work for the county recorder's office and doing the football game, so I'll be back for a little while.
He is the Scorpion King. Okay, I don't mean to seem distracted, but what I'm doing, and I hope you're going to do this with me, is while you watch us on Facebook, please do us a favor, Chipsters, and go to our Facebook page, and while you're there, share this. Share it on your profile, share it on a page. Maybe you're in a special group that you think might be interested in watching our show. We would love that because that's how we increase our viewers. So I'm looking for it right now, and I'm probably gonna have to go out there. It takes a little while sometimes to jump on there. We have a special guest we're gonna get to in just a few minutes, but the lovely Leslie White is here. She is a Republican activist. If you've been in Maricopa County circles or probably Arizona circles and even beyond statewide, because I know that you've lived in other states, you know Leslie White. She is a strong political activist, and we're honored and glad to have you back. She's going to be talking about this. This is a revival of faith, country, and freedom.
That's on my...
So, are we not on? Okay.
It's on my page, not on...
It's on your page? It's not on Facebook?
Right.
Chips and Salsa Show?
We can just share it to Chips and Salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do it on... Could you do it on the phone? Switch over to...
Okay, we're going to have it up in just a little bit. Sorry about that. All right, George, while you take care of that, I'm going to go ahead and take care of some business here, okay? First of all, I want to thank you. Oh, this is Armin. He's our incredible intern. Yeah, yeah. And thank you for bearing with us. This is something brand new. We used to be on Center Right Radio, and we give them extreme thanks for letting us do that for almost, well, January. We're on there almost for a year. Brandon Jones, who is the master creator of that, he decided to go a little different direction, but that's okay.
Share it.
Or
My bad. It's like it's on my page. It's got to share it from my
okay,
page.
so now, can we do that now?
I'm doing it.
This is live Facebook,
Yeah, you can keep talking.
live radio. Okay. All right. So anyways, so that's why we're doing something different. So what you can do is you can watch us here on Facebook, and then another way you can watch us is you can go to YouTube, because we have a YouTube channel, and right now the channel is called Sonia Salsa S. And you're probably saying, well, why don't you just call it Chips and Salsa page? Well, we can't do that because one of our original partners, he owns that, and so if you go there, you're just going to see really old shows. So if you'd like to come up with a new name, we're going to try to come up with a new name, and that way you can watch it there as well. We're always looking for sponsors. If you'd like to connect with me, you can email me. It's alice@chipssalsashow.com, and tell us if you want to pay us $1 million so we can give you a sponsor on our show, you know. And George is kind of our business manager here. He takes care of things. What we have here, if you're watching us, you'll see that we have a plethora of signs, because guess what? It's campaign time. I'm using George's favorite word, plethora. So I'm going to take care of a few little details. We may have a Prather point for you today. Jeff Prather is going to be resuming the Prather points, but I don't know if he's going to get one to us today. If he doesn't, we'll do it next week. Also, our Millennial Minute, Joshua Bernard and the guys from Crew, that's College Republicans United. They usually provide a Millennial Minute. God bless you. And if not, we may have to have a live one. That was a good way to announce yourself, Armin. We're going to have a live one from Armin, because he is a member of College Republicans United. That's how we found it. All right, good deal. Okay, so we're up now on Facebook. Good. And YouTube?
He's working on it.
He's working on it? All right, good. I wanted to give special birthday greetings to my nephew.
Oh.
Leslie, today is my nephew's birthday. That's Dr. Michael Lara in New Mexico. Salute, congratulations. He was just a little baby when my husband and I got married, and now he's a doctor. He's an emergency room doctor. He's good. Everything's cool.
Rotate the phone.
And if you guys are talking, do you think you can hear him too? Might have a little background noise. That's our guys talking. All right. And then also last week was David Beasley's birthday, George. And David Beasley, he is the one who created our music, and we're working on getting the music together here. You know, da 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 for the Chips and Salsa show. So we're working on that as well. All right, so we're up. We should be up on YouTube, right? So what you can do, if you want to watch us on YouTube, I'll show you how. You go to YouTube, and then you're going to search for Sonia, S-O-N-I-A, Salsa S. So you put a space. You put Sonia, S-O-N-I-A, space, Salsa S. And you should be able to find us. Okay, George, I'm looking for us. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I can find us right away.
We're on
There's some
YouTube.
old ones. Did you find us?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll continue with the show here. All right. We had a lot of headlines this week, and I'm going to whip through those real quick. Trump was in town. That's why I have my beautiful T-shirt on. Trump 2020. And you know what? I want to give a little commercial because I was at, Leslie, I went to the Arizona Federation of Republican Women.
Sweet.
Yeah. And Kathy's Magical Clay was there. So Kathy Barr, she had these really cool T-shirts. And I just got it because she didn't have my size. And I think they're about $28. You can order it from her and she'll ship it. That includes shipping. And you can simply call, I'll give you the phone number. I can put this on Facebook later. But you can call Kathy at 520-449-0684. That's 520-449-0684. You can find her at Facebook. It's KMK Shirts. KMK Shirts on Facebook. Or let's see, you can email her. I'll give you her email. Magic Kathy. Magic Kathy, and that's with a K. Magic, K-A-T-H-Y at Cox.net. She's got some really cool stuff. It's worth checking out. Hey, you know what too we're doing? We're up in black and white on the Facebook page. So if you like it, let us know. If you hate it, let us know. And maybe we'll change it. Maybe we won't. It just depends what we want to do. It's all good. All right, so we got that. Our headlines. Oh my goodness. We had Trump in town. Liawatha. Did you hear what they call Elizabeth Warren? They call her Liawatha. Call her all kinds of names. Oh my goodness. What is it? 1/20th, 24th? That she's Native American.
Yeah.
We also have the Khashoggi death, unfortunately. And as I understand, they're trying to blame our president for that because the latest that I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but they said, well, you know, our president always disses the media. So because he does that, then outside of our country, they think we don't really value our media. So that's probably something outrageous like that was responsible for his death, which I don't get that. That's kind of crazy, but, you know. We also have border chaos. I don't know, George has been following the border chaos down there. What's the latest on that? Do you know?
Visitors coming.
Yeah, so it's interesting that
4,000 strong.
Once Trump started saying, you know what, if you guys don't control your border, we're going to not send you money. And guess what? Something started happening, huh?
Yeah, but I think what's going to happen is he's already told them that if he has to bring in the military, they're not going to cross the border.
Well, and it's protecting. That's our defense.
You can stop it with you can't stop it with just the border patrol. But if you bring the military in, ain't nobody crossing that border. The military is a little bit different when they do their.
It's serious stuff. It's serious stuff for them to have that there. And sorry, George is a little distracted. He's still trying to do the technical thing as well. Okay, so you know what we're going to do?
Yeah.
I think we're going to go ahead and we'll get started with Leslie. I think I took care of all the business. Okay, so we need to still share it to our Chips and Salsa show site because it's not coming up there. Did you share it to the Chips and Salsa show site?
What? Oh, the website?
Uh-huh. Our Facebook site. Because when I go to the Facebook Chips and Salsa show site, it's not on there. Oh, here it is. I lied. I'm sorry. Now I found it. I lied. So sorry. So we are live for 4 minutes. We're upside down, but we're live. Okay.
The black and white was intentional.
Okay. Yeah, black and white. We're doing black and white. We're like, you know, Wayback Machine.
We should start it again.
Okay.
But it has to be on this Chips and Salsa page.
But maybe it's still live.
There, Chips
Oh,
and
now it's
Salsa.
black and now it's color.
Now it's color.
Publish.
Now we turn color.
Is it still running?
No.
Video, right?
Yeah. Or posts. So you click publish. video.
Live video. There it is. You saw yours.
All right. So now
This.
we're running.
My whole plan on the tripod.
Okay, we're live.
There we go. I like black and white.
So we have some comments. Chips and Salsa showing black and
know.
white.
There
The
it
black
is,
and white
black
filter
white.
is.
Black and white.
Now Susan Tyndall says that the black and white filter is not as good as the color.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, noted. We might change it then back to the
How
color.
does this even work?
We just might have to just hold it. YouTube is working perfect. Oh, well. Darn
The
it.
YouTube is working? Okay.
We've been on YouTube for a while.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so cool. So if I. All right.
Is this charging the phone?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I didn't tell you that.
Well, I'll just.
Okay, so George, let's talk to Leslie. The reason we brought Leslie on, Leslie was a guest here a while back, and she was talking about some propositions. She let's see, you want to give the audience a little bit background on yourself and how wonderful you are. You've been doing politics for a while, right?
I have. I've had the opportunity to spend time in the great state of Arizona. I've been here since 2014. Prior to that, I was in Colorado. And I understand what freedom is. I understand what freedom is. And we're at a really tricky point right now, I think, in our nation. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity from you and from George. You guys are so nice and great activists.
We love you.
To come and talk about something really big. Leslie Van Borsen lives in Tucson, Arizona, and she created an organization called Winning with Women, and it's self-funded. It's self-funded, a novel idea, and we're about sharing information with the public for conservatives and conservative candidates. We talk about civic responsibility. We have a lot of commentary on there. We lift people up. We point out key articles that are out there in the news. We're so busy right now, and there's so much clutter, but we have a Facebook page, Winning with Women. We have about 15,000 people across the nation that come onto our Facebook page. They like it. They add some commentary to it, and we're about America. And we focus on America. And we have admin on the four corners of America that add content to it. And Leslie Van Borsen is the visionary of this whole thing. It started back in 2010, and we were together in Labor Day, during the Labor Day down in southern Arizona. She said, Leslie, I think we need to do something with this election coming up. And we all know, as we watched with so much pain, what Kavanaugh went through. And I really want to be friends with him someday. I really do. I love the line when he said, they asked him about his calendar, because he goes to church on Sundays, and he didn't mention, it wasn't in the calendar that he was going to church. And under oath he said, going to church is like cleaning your teeth. It's automatic. And we think about what just happened there. And we think about kind of the discrimination that we're feeling as faithful people. What you say can and will be used against you. And we thought of an idea, having a revival. Revival, faith, country, and freedom. And is going to be at Shepherd of the Valley Lutheran Church. That address is 1500 West Maryland Avenue. It's in Phoenix. It's at 3 p.m. and it's on October 28th. One thing I want you guys to do right now, the listening audience, is to go out to Facebook and like our page. It's called Winning with Women. And we have this event out there. And I also have it out on my Facebook page. And I gotta tell you, we're proud conservative women. We really are. We're bold, we're bodacious, and we're fearless. And we're not intimidated, and we're not going to be shut down for speaking truth. And at any time during our nation, it's time to speak up when you say that you believe in God, you believe that there is a creator holier than you. And it's an event, the revival is on the 28th. Now that's next Sunday. The election is November 6th. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a couple short messages. We're going to have prayers. I got a phenomenal organist who's going to play the pipe organ, which is going to be amazing. Now again, everybody's invited to this. It's totally free. It's at Shepherd of the Valley Lutheran Church, 1500 West Maryland Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona.
What time is that again? That's
3 o'clock.
3. So that's you've gone to church, you've done your lunch with your family and everything. You can take the family out there.
Yeah,
and it's not
absolutely.
just for conservatives.
No, it's
Everybody's
not.
welcome.
We might have a special guest singing the national anthem,
Ooh.
which would be kind of fun. But, you know, if there's any time that we need to pray for our nation, it's now. And we cannot, if a bunch of us show up, I want to pack that place. You know, when the Holy Spirit shows up. And I think there's 3 things God's going to ask me when I meet him someday. He's going to ask me, did I trust him? Did I share him? And did I give the skills and talent? Did I use the skills and talents he gave me? And I think this is a great opportunity to share with others the power of the Holy Spirit and the power of God.
I think this is so great. You know, Leslie told me about this a while back, and it's needed. Well, it's always needed, and we don't do it enough. So especially right now, right before the election, you know, there was a campaign that I worked on.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of, when you do campaigns, you worked on campaigns, Leslie, you try to identify, oh, this person's really good at, you know, publicity. This person's really good at talking to people. And what we had is we had someone, and that was our prayer person.
Mm.
And she took care of that and kept us in line, because we forget. It's horrible, but as decent Republicans and conservatives, you know, it's very important. It keeps us focused. It keeps us real. And who thought about doing this? Whose brainchild was this?
I'm going to give full credit to Leslie Van Borsen. And
Way to go, Leslie Van
Yeah,
Borsen.
and let's go back to the Kavanaugh hearing. That wasn't party against party. That was godless against the godly. And let's just call it for what it is. It's the godless against the godly. And it wasn't a party deal. It was godless against the godly. Something happened significantly last weekend in the White House. Remember that pastor that was released from Turkey?
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know if you saw it, but that pastor prayed right then and there
Yes, he did.
in the Oval Office for Trump. And I gotta tell you, that was primo. That was
He did it
primo.
spontaneously. It was just,
Yeah.
it came from his heart. He was very thankful for what our president did. And I can relate to Brett Kavanaugh. You were mentioning about Brett Kavanaugh. I used to coach just like he coaches. I love beer just like he loves beer. He had a couple of beers. I have a couple of beers. I have 2 daughters and one stepdaughter. And you know, I played coach sports for 9 seasons, and I coached nothing but girls teams. And I didn't get paid for it. It was a passion that came out of my heart. They thought I lived at the park because I was there every day after work at the park coaching different basketball, softball, and then the boys, I coached them on baseball and basketball. I got coach of the year, and they retired me from the Lakewood Parks and Recreation. And I could relate to Brett Kavanaugh. He's a happily married man with 2 beautiful daughters, and he's very religious. I'm very religious. I could relate to him, and I know a million of men across this country could relate to him. And for them to try to tarnish him like they did, was that the good word? Unconscionable?
Unconscionable, maybe? That's what you're thinking of?
It was ridiculous. It made the Democrats seem so petty, so wanting to destroy a man and his family, and that was so wrong. I prayed to God that he would win or get the confirmation. He got the confirmation, and he's going to be an excellent Supreme Court justice. Mm-hmm. Just like Thomas, they tried to trash Thomas, and Thomas has become a very good and outstanding Supreme Court justice. And what the Democrats try to do is destroy you. The next one coming is going to be Ruth Ginsburg. She is old. I'm not old, but she's elderly. She's falling asleep during important meetings. She needs to retire. She's holding on because I think she's hoping that a Democrat will be elected.
I think they're making her also hold on. It's kind of sad. She's very elderly.
See her. She slumps over in public places where they should be sitting up, not totally attentive, but sitting up listening. She slumps over. She's like falling asleep. she really looks sickly to me. She looks
Frail.
like frail, I guess is a good word. And I say this from the kindness of my heart. I think that she should retire. All the other Supreme Court justices have retired when they get to a certain age, when they feel like it's time for them to retire. Somebody's making her hold on, and that's sad. But Trump has 2 more years. Well, he has the next 2 years, and then he's going to win in 2020, and he's going to have 4 more years. So she's going to have to retire. He's going to have to appoint another Supreme Court justice, and we're going to go through all of this again. And it's sad to see. We cannot let the Democrats rule this country.
And that's exactly why it's so important to get. I mean, if you watch this and you tune in for the first time, and we have all of our signs back here, we are really wanting to vote them out. It's really important to get as many Republicans in there as all. Are we perfect candidates? No, but by and large, I believe, at least in Arizona, because those are the candidates I'm familiar with, they are superior candidates. We just had the Trump rally, and Martha McSally was there, and Trump came on purpose to
And I don't know if
give
you
her
noticed this,
kudos.
but she sent us a plane. Her plane that she flew. It's a card. It says Martha McSally, and then you open it, and it's the Warthog plane. Isn't that beautiful? She sent that to a lot of her people that were on her, were supporting her, and I gave that one to Alice.
I have a plane now,
She has a plane.
because
You
we're her
can
wing
fly.
people, right?
We're her wing people. We're her wingmen.
I was not able to attend that. I was working yesterday to try to encourage people that their vote does matter. I did see a Facebook message. It was from Marcus Yue. I want to get a shout out to Marcus Yue. He's amazing. He's a great activist here in Arizona, like you two. But there was a picture of Martha McSally with Kelly Ward, Dr. Kelly Ward, and Michael Ward. And you know what? That just showed such class to me. She's about the greater good of the state. She lost, but she showed so much class that there is there. And I see some really great, big things that could happen for her. And I just wanted to mention that. She's been very kind and gracious to Winning with Women over the years. And that just showed sheer class that she showed up. Even being defeated, she is going to go places somewhere. There's going to be a great opportunity
and it's
for
saying,
her.
and it's saying a lot, because when you go through a campaign, a primary campaign, and you put everything you got to it, you go to all these meetings, all these conventions, you're everywhere, and she was everywhere.
Yeah.
It takes a toll from you, and when you do lose, you're disappointed, you're really let down. But to come back and endorse the winner, who was your main rival, and show that you support that candidate, shows a lot with Kelly Ward, that she's supporting Martha McSally, and to see her yesterday on national television next to Martha McSally, and showing her in other areas, other news with her supporting Martha McSally. I think that says a lot.
I'm really glad you mentioned that, because, and we're getting the emails from her. And, and that's what Republicans need to do. They need to stick together.
They need to come together.
And we're family, okay? Maybe you don't get along with every single person, and you don't agree 100% down, up and down on philosophy and different things. That's okay, because you know what? We need to fight the other side, because the other side cannot get in there, or our country will be changed. Arizona's fighting, trying to stay red. We cannot be purple. We cannot be purple, because...
And I must say, I work at for the county recorder as a troubleshooter at the polls, the early voting, and I'm seeing a lot of people come in that were independents or non-party, switching over to Republican. I'm seeing a lot of people come in as Republicans. I see a lot of Democrats come in, but I'm seeing a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of Republicans voting this year, and there's a wave out there, but it's not a blue wave, it's a red wave. And mark my word, you're going to see a red wave in November. And I'm non-partisan when it comes to my job as a troubleshooter working for Adrian Fontes in the county.
I know you can get in trouble for saying that.
But I can say what I see. But in there, when I'm working, I'm a non-partisan. I don't mention politics at all. but I do see a red wave coming. And I could say it now because I'm not working, but when I'm at work, I can't, that doesn't come into play. But what's in my mind, what I see, I can say, I see a red wave coming. People, don't be surprised. I don't care what the Democrats tell you. There is a red wave on the way. And it's not only in Arizona, but it's nationwide. And we're going to
And Leslie, the Winning with Women has really been active on that, haven't they?
We've been very active. So freedom is a team sport, and we have administrators all over the United States that post commentary, conservative ideas, conservative articles. We pump people up, we build people up, we expose some of the terrible things that are happening. And we have exposed some of the really bad things in regards to cinema and what she said about Arizona and with a meth lab for democracy. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if
There
those are
have
the
been
exact words.
all that history is now coming back, and the leeching moms, stay-at-home moms. That's the latest one too.
So we post about the U.S. Senate races; those are critical out there. The congressional races are out there, and George, I hope you're right that this is a red wave. I'm sensing that. But one thing I just have a question for you because we talked a little bit about Martha McSally. I thought she was on fire last night. I watched her on my iPhone. She was pretty excited and she was pretty jazzed up. So let's do everything possible to make sure that we get her elected. And I'm talking as Leslie D. White. I'm not representing anybody else. She's with us on a lot of issues, and we got to get her elected. The same thing is, let me just throw this out. So Senator Kyle, he's only on there for a little bit. Do you think maybe people should be thinking about why isn't Kelly Ward suggested as the next U.S. Senator?
I would love.
I'm just throwing it out.
I would love for that to happen. It would be nice to have two strong Republican women there. Of course, that choice is up to the governor.
Yeah.
He's going to have to decide that. But first, we got to get McSally elected. And if there's just, I do not want the first first senator for Arizona, U.S. senator, woman, female senator, to be a Democrat, but much less Kirsten Sinema.
And I think that we should remind all our volunteers, all our PCs, all our faithful Republican, conservative, and independent volunteers that are working hard and tirelessly every day on the phone. Keep it up. Don't stop. We cannot give an inch. Even though what I see is, I see my view, and I see hopefully the red wave coming, but we can't take that for granted. We have to keep on the phones. And I read a tweet today. They said, keep it going, because that's how we won 2016. We didn't give up. We were on the phone till the last day, till November the 6th. So stay on the phones, volunteer if you can, go to your nearest precinct or GOP office, volunteer, get on the phone, call fellow Republicans, remind them to turn in those early ballots, because they got the early ballots now. To turn in the early ballots, either put them in the mail, you have until the 30th to put them in the mail. If you don't, take it to the nearest polling place, precinct, and drop it in the drop box. Don't procrastinate. You must do it. Republicans have to unite with all conservatives, with also independents and crossover Democrats, the walkaway Democrats that we like to call them, that have given up on the Democratic Party and are crossing over to the Republican Party. Independents that, the reason you're independent is because you want to see which party you support, which party convinces you that they're the ones you're going to vote for. Right now, it's the Republican Party. Believe it or not, independents and non-party committed people, non-party, are starting to switch over to the Republican Conservative Party because they see they don't want socialism, they don't want communism, and they don't want, in CD3, we have Nick Pearson running. They don't want Grijalva to win another term. He's a socialist, he's an admitted socialist. Nick Pearson has been elected by the Republican Party to run against him. People in CD3 have to vote for Nick Pearson. On Debbie Lesko, and that's a CD8?
Yep.
Debbie Lesko on CD8, keep her in Congress. She's doing a great job. President Trump commented her yesterday for the great job she's doing. And we have to support all the other people on the Republican tickets. It's just that way. You put a Democrat in it, it's just, you don't want the votes to go sway the other
George,
way.
I think we know where you stand on these things, but what also is really important, and I think a lot of people don't realize, now, all three of us here, we are very active in the Republican Party. And, you know, I got signs up in my yard. I know you have signs, and you have signs. You got bumper stickers, and talk to people. But it's so important that even if you're not that active in the party, talk to people and say, you know, maybe you don't want to push people. Maybe you feel it's too pushy to say vote for so-and-so. But ask them if they're going to vote. And you'd be surprised. They might say, well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to vote, but I don't know what I'm going to do, like propositions. What about the propositions?
Right, those are
And
confusing.
if you have some knowledge to share, and even sometimes they'll ask me a question I don't know, but you can say, oh, call the party or call someone, or, you know, like Leslie knows a lot about the propositions. I would say call Leslie. We have information. But the important thing, you can talk to people. And the other thing you get from that is it sparks a conversation. You know, we've got to quit this fighting amongst each other. So if they know that you're willing to speak to them on a rational, calm tone, you know, don't get in a fight, don't do all that crazy stuff that the Democrats seem to be wanting to do. Remember, it's jobs, not mobs. But you can be really powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I can't stress that enough. Am I overdoing it, guys, on that?
No, I think you're absolutely correct. And a simple phrase, I stole it from Laura Carno in Colorado, if you're listening. Think about this. And it might have been somebody else, but big government, little you. So think about the policies that your candidate is promoting. If they're promoting big government, that means you're going to have less ability to run the life that you want to live. We all want to live the life the way we want to do it, but we don't want to be told what to do, when to do it, or how to do it. And that's really important, but you're right. And freedom is a team sport. It takes all of us. There's some people that are just going to watch Fox News, yell at Fox News, be on Facebook, and I'm saying, hey, listen, be bold in the grocery store line. Are you going to vote? Why aren't you going to vote? Listen, you should vote this, this, and this on the props. And let's review these propositions when we get time.
Yeah, let's do the props.
Yeah.
And even if, you know what, wearing a shirt. I wear
Yeah.
my pro-life shirt. And a few years ago when I would wear it, nobody really talked about it. Now, I cannot believe, I think I shared this with you, Leslie, last time I talked to you, but people will come up to me and I always think, uh-oh, what are they going to do? Are they going to get mad at me? What are they? But 99% of the time they've done that, they're like, I really like your shirt. I'm pro-life, or I used to be not pro-life and now I am. I mean, it's really cool. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are afraid to. You might be afraid to wear a shirt like this. We shouldn't be. This is America, and isn't it sad? Or a hat like George has his Make America Great hat on today. We really shouldn't be. It's a horrible sign to have to be that way. I want to mention, though, the rally yesterday. You know, my good friend Terry Mendoza was there. Terry Mendoza's the gal. She's the one that called Nancy Pelosi out in a rally and said, you know, Nancy Pelosi was talking about these rich Republicans, and she said, how much money are you worth, Speaker Pelosi? But anyways, she was there, and President Trump was saying, hey, how many Latinos are out there? And of course, we were very loud. I wasn't there, but they were very loud. He said, oh, maybe 10%, and I'm sure there were more than that there. But, you know, that's another lie that's being perpetuated, that, you know, minorities, and that's a big reason why our show exists, because we want to know, you know, there's still people think that just because you have a darker brown skin, you're probably a Democrat. And probably there are more Democrats that are brown than Republicans. But you know what? Like George said, that really is changing. It really is. And even in the millennial world, in a little bit, I'm going to invite our incredible intern Armin to come here. He's fixing some signs behind the scene now. But I want him to come here and share some millennial stuff with us. But I think we should talk about the propositions, because Leslie knows a lot about these propositions, which can sometimes be confusing to say the least.
Okay, so Prop 125, that deals with pension reform, and both sides of the aisle are saying, yeah, this is really good. We're going to save the taxpayers some money, so let's do some pension reform. So I'm telling everybody, vote yes on 125. We have Prop 126, and what that is the Realtor Association went out and they were very proactive. Services right now are not taxed, but they don't want service to be taxed at all. So they want to make an amendment to the Arizona Constitution. And we're like, whoa, an amendment to the Arizona Constitution? So there's 27 amendments in our United States Constitution.
Right.
If this goes through, it's like 157th amendment. And it's going to stop good people from doing some really good tax reform in the state, because it's an amendment, and the way we're going to have to get rid of this is to do another proposition. We're saying, wait, listen, they're not getting taxed now. It's not a good idea. Let's think long-term versus short-term. So personally, I'm saying vote no on Prop 126.
That is the hardest one to explain, because especially on the surface, as a Republican, we don't want taxes at all. No. So it's like, well, we got to vote for this thing, you know?
Right, yeah.
And it's very difficult
Yeah.
to explain. And what you can remember is what we've learned is if the proposition starts with a 1,
Yep.
then it's changing our Arizona Constitution. In Arizona, you might be watching from another state out there. Not all states have this, but in Arizona, we can put an initiative forward as people, and if it passes, it becomes law. So not just our state lawmakers that we elect to make law do that. We have that power. It's cool, but it also has its negatives to it also. Sometimes we have outside interests that come in, if you have a lot of money, and they get things on the ballot that maybe Arizonans don't want or are forced into. So I want you just one more time, because I've had people all the time and I'm having to explain. I always feel I can never do a good enough job on this. So tell the people again why it should be a no on 126.
So again, you and I and George don't want to pay more taxes. I'm totally with you. But we have to look long-term versus short-term. And this is short-term thinking. People don't want the service industry to be taxed. Understand that. But it's going to be an amendment to the Arizona Constitution. That's going to delay the process of us being able to reform taxes, tax codes here in Arizona. We're saying, wait, give the legislation, give the folks down at the state capitol the ability to do some good things versus push this through. So that's just really basic. It's a no. And we're picking winners and losers with this, the service industry. So I went and got my hair cut, and I like your haircut. Okay?
Well, thank you.
So when you get your hair cut, you're not
I like your
you're
haircut.
not taxed on
I
the
like it
service. You're not taxed on getting your hair cut.
Right.
But if you buy some really good shampoo, you're taxed on that.
So product, no
Yeah.
services right now.
Right. Think about this, but we're more of a service-oriented kind of economy here in Arizona.
True.
Okay.
True.
What's our sales tax right now? It's like 8 point something.
Yeah, sometimes it's hitting 10%, it seems
There
like.
you go, and it's high. So, listen, just vote no on Prop 126. That's what we're asking to do. And what I find amazing is both folks running for governor have different reasons, but they're both telling their constituents to vote no on Prop 126. So it's bipartisan, kind of fun. 127, Prop 127, what do you know about it?
That's the solar, known as the solar one, right?
So there's a no on that. So Tom Steyer from California, billionaire, hedge fund manager, very engaged with solar energy and power in California, came here and got enough signatures to put it on the ballot. And it's going to
Billionaire.
billionaire. But you know what?
Which, that's fine, he can be a billionaire.
Absolutely, I'm all about that. Yeah, wealth creation, do it. But at the expense, it's going to be a mandate here in which mandate utility companies to have 50% of their energy by 2018 to come from green energy. Listen, the sun is out there. God created the sun. Let's use solar energy. But you're going to mandate this, and what's going to happen is those costs are going to be trickled down to the consumer. So my utility rate's going to go up. So you think about the summer months. My utility rates go up in the summer months. I don't know if yours do or not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have to, and the
yeah.
least fortunate of us are going to have to make a decision. Do I buy groceries or do I pay my utility bill? So you got APS. Let's think about the co-ops in the rural communities. Now they're going to be impacted too. How are they going to be impacted? Not quite sure, but their utility rates are going to have to go up. This is just free enterprise. A mandate, that's like government control. So you're going to have all of the infrastructure put in place. You're going to have all these batteries have to be put up in place. And think about you're going down I-17, or you're on I-10, or you're up in the Grand Canyon. Just think about those bird blenders that I call them, you know, those wind towers, you know, at the Grand Canyon. It's just a bad idea. It's bad. It's bad, bad, bad. So no on Prop 127.
And that, you know, we do have at Arizona, the county
Yep.
Republican Party has a little golden ticket.
Yep.
And
it's different in different counties because there's different people running in certain districts. But ours lists those, and some of them are statewide. Other ones are, and I believe the.
hey, George, you know what, too? I want to give the water board, I want to give the candidates, too, because that's a lot of, you know, people go and vote, and they don't really pay attention. Oh, what's a water board, the community college district? And sometimes they don't even vote on those things because they don't know who to vote for. So on the water board, on the golden ticket for the Maricopa County Republicans, we have Rory Van Pocky, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled Van, P-O-U-C-K-E, but it rhymes with hockey. And then Lisa Adkins. Lisa Adkins has been around a long time. She was chief of staff to Bob Stump, the original congressman from a long time ago. Just a wonderful lady, good friend of mine. April Pinger and Carrie Giangobi. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. Also for Phoenix mayor, you got to vote for Moses Sanchez, our friend. Maybe we can get him in here before the election. I don't know, but he's doing a fantastic job. He's the only Republican in that race of 4. He gets it. He touches the people. You will be very happy with him. You will not be dissatisfied. On the Community College Governing Board for the at-large, on the golden ticket is Kathleen Ann Wynn. And then also for the Governing Board District 4, our good friend Jean McGrath. So if you have any questions at all, you know, I encourage you to look at the website. You'll be hearing stuff from us as well.
Hey, let's mention the final 2 props, though, and hats off to the Maricopa GOP chairman, Chris
Herring.
I got to tell you, he took the lead on this, and he was definitely a leader in regards to putting together this golden sheet. I'm very impressed with what he did. Not all counties are this aggressive and show such leadership, so big kudos to Chris. But Prop 305, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, tell me about that.
So I voted yes on 305. That's educational savings accounts. That's a big issue. Sydney Hay did a terrific job in regards to bringing ESAs and fighting for ESAs in Arizona. The bottom line is you just vote yes. Vote yes.
Vote yes on that.
And then Prop 306, this is interesting. This deals with clean elections. And I wrote in the publicity pamphlet with some help an argument for this. So clean elections, you get money, right? Sometimes the way it works, some of that money goes back to the political parties. And over the years, we've given back like $100,000 to the Democratic Party. So we're asking.
They're very good at that. They're really good at that.
So we're asking for some revisions. So that's definitely a yes. So can we just review this real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
And Chris is definitely with where what we just talked about is the same thing. So definitely a yes on Prop 125, no on Prop 126, no on Prop 127, yes on Prop 305, and yes on Prop 306.
So there you have it. I want to invite Armin to come and come and sit with us too.
What we're trying to do is put this on all Republicans' doors so they can take this into the voting booth with them. That's why it's called the golden ticket. And we each district has their PCs knocking on doors, and if that person's not there, we leave it on the door, and we hope that they take this in there. And I think it says here something about taking it in there.
And you're allowed to take it in there.
You just can't leave it in the booth. You have to take it with you.
So, George, I have a question.
Yes.
So, I'm a permanent mail-in ballot recipient, and I got it. I fill it out on my kitchen table.
Right.
It took about 20 minutes because there's judges on there.
Oh, the judges are like 50 of them or something.
So, people really need to be prepared. If they're going to go on election day, they're going to do it in one of the little booths there when you ballot. they gotta have this all filled out.
Yeah.
Since you work at the county clerk and recorder's office, is there a time limit in
They-
regards to how long they can stay filling out
No,
a
they
ballot?
can stay as long as it's necessary to vote. We don't rush nobody. If they wanted to be in there for 20 minutes, we just use the other voting booths. You know, we kind of check on them once in a while to make sure. But what they're doing, we give them a book on the propositions, the arguments for and against. Don't read that book. I mean, we give it to them. It is useful. Okay, it tells you what the proposition what it would change, a synopsis. But then it gives you the pros and cons. And believe me, the pros and the cons, when you start reading it, both of them make sense. And so it's really confusing. But they have maybe 20 pros and big articles, and it's signed by all kinds of people. Then you got the pros and you got the cons. So it's like on every proposition. And the book is about that thick.
And George,
when they
I
mail
just
you
want to
this
mention that's such good information, because even if you don't feel like reading every single argument, you know what I do sometimes? I go through and see who's written those arguments.
Right.
Because sometimes you'll recognize the organization
Yeah.
or the person. You think,
Yeah.
okay, well, what is their agenda? It helps you to understand
Yeah.
what side they're on.
Yeah, because you see Grahal was written as a pro on something, or you might see Kristen Sinema as a pro or against something. So you got to you kind of know the people that, like you said, go to the people you trust. Also, on the second part is the judges. What's interesting about the judges is, it's a yes or no. Do you want to retain them or no? And what they do is they give the percentage of how they're rated as a judge. And it's very helpful on the one for the judges, because you just go to the judge and you say, okay, his rating is low, and they give you honest ratings. It's done by by either bar association or something. But if you read on it, it'll give you an idea of the judge, whether they should be retained or not, and what their percentage of cases were and how they voted on it. So it's very interesting reading. Those books are helpful. I just got confused with the pros and cons.
And George, just on the judges, for the Arizona Supreme Court retention on the golden ticket, it's recommended Clint Bullock, Bolick, and also John Pelander,
And that's for
Pelander.
And
This
that's
is for
for,
the Arizona Supreme Court
And that's for
retention.
LD19 in that area, the west side. The judges are all around.
So that's the
the
Supreme
golden
Court
tickets-
retention for the whole Arizona.
And the golden tickets in every district is a little bit different because of the judges and stuff running in that district. So, but this is basically, it tells you who in your district. Try to get a hold of one of these golden tickets. If you don't get one, call the Republican Party, the county Republican Party. They'll make sure that you get one. So they're very helpful.
But not to confuse the issue out there, because you're saying the district. Everybody, if you live in Arizona, this is for the Arizona Supreme Court.
Right.
So you're voting, you're an Arizona voter. Please
Right.
vote for Clint Bullock and John
Right.
Pelander.
Right.
All right, so I brought Armin in. We got a little bit of time left. Maybe we can go a little longer since we started late, because
Sure.
we're so lucky to have our incredible intern, Armin. Woohoo! And I'd like to bring him on because we were starting the Millennial Minute, and we
Yeah.
don't have one. So we're going to have a live kind of Millennial Minutes with Armin. I'd like to talk to him,
I took care of it.
This is...
The cameras are fine.
No, but you're not.
Oh, he wants to get you in. He's going to just to get you in. Got to
I
get
guess
you
I
in there.
didn't know what I was talking about.
We don't want you to be... Oh, actually, yeah, I think he did. I think he did take care of it, George, but
Not
go
on
ahead
Facebook,
and fix it.
Maybe.
It's all good.
There you go.
So, Armin, you haven't voted very many times, right? Because you're a pretty young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Oh, you voted before, right? You voted.
I think this is the first time I've actually... No, I did vote in 2016.
You did vote in 2016.
Yes.
All right, good. So as you go out there and you're talking to people your age and everything, do you think we're going to get more millennials voting this time around?
I hope not.
Because?
I think millennials are too young to vote, and
As an uninformed? Or
uninformed is not the way I would put it. I would rather say they don't have life experience. They've never, unless you have owned something, had to manage something, like a house or your life, pay rent, all that stuff, I would say you probably are not fit to vote.
Well, that's an interesting concept. Now, typically, so as a millennials, it's your age, you're 25,
Yeah.
and it's what, like 30s, into the 30s,
Yeah,
right?
something like that, yeah.
So that age group, I think my age group votes more. The seniors vote more than
Yeah.
we do. But do you think, I think we're going to get more voting because of all the stuff that's going on out there. But it may be more of the liberal side, or do you think we'll get more of conservative side of millennials voting?
So I think it was kind of a balancing act, the Kavanaugh hearing. If Kavanaugh had lost, we would have had more red votes. Since Kavanaugh was confirmed, I think we'll have more blue votes. And you see a lot of you guys need to vote campaigns everywhere. And I honestly think those campaigns are malicious, because in 2016, it was like, hey, it doesn't matter who you vote for, just vote. And then right after the election, it was, you people are so stupid, how could you have voted for Trump? You're racists, you're supporting sexism. And so, I just, I think the push to get people to vote is just, they're like, oh, we have like demographics in this area, we'll try to get them to vote because they'll vote our way. And again, millennials, they're less experienced, and they are more open to voting for, if your parents have constantly given you things, you were probably going to vote for politicians that are offering you things. And that's what the Democratic Party is running on. And it doesn't matter if it will ruin the country. They're going to use that to get votes.
Now, your group, and this is how we met you, College Republicans United, which, by the way, I got to put a plug in. They're going to speak at our women's club next month. I hope you can come to that meeting. Woohoo! In November. But these guys are really sharp, Leslie. We've interviewed them. Yeah. And are you being successful in recruiting more conservative millennials? What do you think? How does it look out there?
So it looks like a lot more and more people are joining on. And the cool thing is, the people are like, it's not just white guys, which is the stereotype. It's all kinds of people. So
instead of old white guys, young white guys? No, you stereotype?
Yeah, so it's just kind of cool, and it's also kind of fun because...
And you guys have white women, too. White and brown and whatever color women, too.
we have like all colors, all sexes. So, yeah.
That's a great word. Jump in, Leslie.
I loved your comment in regards to if you've been brought up and you've been given everything, then the way you vote might be based on that. And with the thought process that there's going to be kind of two different philosophies. You can be an entrepreneur, you can create your own destiny, versus, hey, the government will look after you. And we'll tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. I think it was during the 2012 election, which there was Julia from birth until death, and there was a video that came out from the Obama organization that talked about that when you're born cradle to grave, the government can and will and should look after you. So I loved your concept. I have not been able to connect the dots. Why would you think in regards to having the government to look after you, but now you've connected the dots? If you have parents that are giving you everything, they're not there, then you're going to rely on the government to do that for you. Thank you for connecting the dots. I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's another painful truth behind that, and it's it has to do with the definition of economics.
Okay.
Economics is basically it's studying what to do when there is scarcity of goods, and for most people, most millennials growing up in America, scarcity of goods is not really a topic that is addressed, and I think the more you realize that there are finite resources in the world, the more you're going to lean conservative. Not because you don't care about other people, but because you realize, practically speaking, we cannot actually help everyone. And for example, college professors, they like lean liberal on like an extreme scale, but when it comes to economists, they are like, even though they still lean liberal, it has like the lowest ratio of conservative to liberal, because once you understand, okay, even though we have good intentions, we can't actually apply them because the world is limited, then you start thinking of like, okay, well maybe we can't like have the government take care of us, and we can't let everyone in. We have to make sacrifices, and that this concept of sacrifice is kind of painful to a generation that was basically given everything it wanted. I don't know why that's how this generation was, but that's kind of what happened.
I mean, that's so insightful of you. And of course, for our audience's benefit, if this is the first time you've heard us or seen us talk to Armin, you were brought here, you were like 4 or 5 years old from Bosnia?
I was 4 years old.
And so you really have an interesting childhood and experience. But it's so insightful that you think that way. And what you're telling me, if I'm understanding the economist, it's a reality perception of money and the way things really are. I also want to talk to you. We're kind of at the end of the show. I want to go a few more minutes. Is that okay with everybody?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you are from, you are a naturalized citizen.
Yeah.
Call you. A lot of stuff's going on our southern borders.
Yeah.
And you must have some thoughts about that. Have you been following that story?
Yeah, the caravan from Honduras, which is actually really funny, because Mexico is trying to like hold them off, and trying to block them, and the ultimate plan is to make it to the United States, and I mean, the truth is, like if a caravan of people got into the United States, that probably wouldn't be that bad. The reality is, if we send a message that our border is like non-existent, people are just gonna come on like in massive droves, and that's where the irony of the democratic policies comes in, where you have this push for a welfare state, basically having the government spend lots and lots of monies to take care of people. But at the same time, you want to bring more and more people in. And so, like, there really isn't, like, enough money for that. We can't really run a charity, like, for the U.S. people and for anyone who wants to come in. Like, the simplest answer to that is, no, economics exist. We don't have infinite supplies. Just because we feel good in America doesn't mean we can actually give that to everyone. And I think Donald Trump became infamous again when he said we have people coming from shithole countries. I don't know if he actually said that, but I'm from Bosnia, and it is a shithole country. So I feel fine saying that. And he was saying we should have people from he listed specific countries. And then the truth is, he was absolutely right, because if you have intelligent people who are like innovators and engineers, scientists, and if you want to give them good schooling, you can let them come into America. They will get that good schooling. They could come up with inventions and ideas that could then help the people in the poor countries, the people in Mexico and in Honduras, instead of just trusting that the government, which doesn't have infinite resources and will eventually run out of money if we don't keep innovating, instead of trusting the government to take care of everyone, because at the end of the day, the government doesn't have infinite money. Economics.
Well, you're so right. And in listening to the different shows, one of the things, I'm trying to remember which show it was. I think it was on James T. Harris. And the gentleman who knew what he was talking about, he said, so if these people get into our country and even got like kind of almost a catch and release program, I mean, they're going to get here, they claim asylum. We've made it easier for them to do it. So I can't totally blame them. It's our problem. We need to correct that. And what I do like what Trump did, George, and everybody, he said, you know what? We're giving you guys a bunch of money. If you don't help us take care of this problem that you can right now, guess what? You're not getting any money. And money really talks, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's why we should defund public like colleges because they're essentially teaching anti-Americanism.
I think we should penalize them. And you know what else too? And I understand this is starting to happen. The donors, people. A lot of these colleges depend on people with a lot of money on those big donations.
Yeah.
And I've seen out there some people like, I'm not giving that university any more money because of what they're doing, and it's going to take things like that.
So, you chose to become a U.S. citizen?
You were 4 or 5?
So, yeah, I was around 4, and my mother applied for citizenship. And they gave it to her, and like I was able to have it transferred.
Okay, so you follow the rule of law.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're pro-immigration.
What do you mean by immigration?
So I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen. I was born in Canada.
Nice.
I decided to become a U.S. citizen when I lived in Memphis, Tennessee, when I met the Clintons. It was Hillary that took me over the edge.
Yeah.
Up until that time.
Thank you, the Clintons, for something.
So it was up until that point I was a green card holder.
Yeah.
But I followed the rule of law. And I'm a big advocate of the rule of law. I love America. My mom and dad moved here for one reason alone, to live the American dream, and they did. So when I talk about pro-immigration, I think it's great if anybody wants to come to America. I think it is. My parents came, and I've lived the American dream, and my siblings and my nieces and my nephews have as well. I'm pro-immigration, but I'm pro-following the rule of law.
Legal immigration.
Yes.
Which is actually immigration. Actually, you're not really...
Follow the rule of law. That's it. Because every day it's being broken. Every day it's being broken. Let's fix it. And it's a big issue, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it. It's a big, meaty issue. And there's a big economic impact.
Well, there is, and there was another criticism out there. I think it was on Dennis Michael Lynch.
Yeah.
And he was saying, and maybe this is a fair criticism of our president, I love our president, but not enough is said about employers. If you hire people that are illegally in this country, that's not a good thing, and that needs to be talked about as well. It isn't. So we need to hit it at all angles. But I remember also there was a girlfriend of mine who used to work when it used to be INS. Now, when we need more of a different amount of labor, like say we need more interns, let's say I need more interns for the N Salsa show, whatever, but it was a national issue, you can actually extend that quota. And that way certain countries can apply if they have the skills and can come and do that. We can make all these happen, but it can be done, but it's not happening maybe.
So I just saw this week, I don't know if it was in Bloomberg or not, somebody was out there, and I have to give it attribution to somebody else other than me, but there's like 7.1 million open positions in America. We got 6 million people unemployed.
Yeah.
So somehow we do have to fill those jobs, and so I am pro-immigration. People will come and do the jobs, and that's great. We gotta talk about this, and we gotta fix it. And nobody really, both sides of the aisle, they just keep it going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
We gotta have some serious conversation about this and get something done.
We do for the good of our country, because now here we are in election time, and then you've all seen the stories where there's stories about certain cities. They want illegal citizens, I don't know what to call them, citizens, people who illegally reside, they want them to be able to vote in the local elections, because they say, well, they live here, they should be able to do that. No, you should be a legal citizen of the United States to vote. And all the complications that come from there, just by virtue of you being here with an illegal status.
Yeah. We've
got to fix that.
Well, I think it's fine if we have illegal people to vote, just as long as we allow Russians to also meddle.
Well, driver's license. So when I lived in Colorado, I think you didn't have to be a Colorado resident to be able to get a license. And I might be misquoting that. Do you have to get a driver's license here in Arizona? What do you have to show for proof?
I don't think you need to be a resident. I know international students. I don't know.
Okay.
They can get an Arizona driver's license?
Yeah, they can drive.
I know in New Mexico, I believe it's possible to be an illegal alien, okay? Don't be afraid to say that word either. It's actually a word in our United States protocol stuff. But you can get a driver's license. And the whole joke is they come, get a driver's license. Once you get a New Mexico driver's license, what do? You move to Colorado or move to Texas or Arizona, and you've got a driver's license from New Mexico. I figure you're a citizen. Anybody else does too.
Immigration's a big, meaty issue. We really got to have some serious conversations.
It's a big issue.
Big issue.
Okay, so we're kind of at the end of our show. Why don't you give some more information once again, on this great event? I'm going to try to go. Hopefully we can all make it there. Maybe we can do something live with the Chips and Salsa show.
Okay, save the date, October 28th, 3 o'clock, revival at Shepherd of the Valley Lutheran Church. It is at 1500 West Maryland Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona. It is free. Every denomination is invited. We're going to have incredible music. We have a couple of awesome female singers. We have a Hispanic singer that's going to start us with, he's got the whole world in his hands. I got an incredible organist on a pipe organ. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have a pastor give an incredible prayer. My pastor, Dr. David Mars, is going to give an insightful message for about 15 minutes. Come. I think it's going to be one of the best things that you can do during this election cycle. It's free. Free. Invite your friends. Prayer works. God listens. The Holy Spirit will be present. Please come and go out to Winning with Women on Facebook. Winning with Women, and like our page. And we are proud conservative women that run it. Being honest with you, and I'm not going to apologize. Thank you.
And you shouldn't apologize for that. And that's a nice central location, 1500 West Maryland. And it's probably going to go on for a while. So if you don't get there right at 3, I would say go ahead and come, because you'll probably be there for at least a few hours.
No, I don't want to say hours. No.
A couple hours? No?
No.
Good thing I said that.
No. Say about an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, just an hour.
Okay. Say 75 minutes max. In and out. This is not going to be drawn out. Okay. No, it's going to be great.
You sound like you had a big program lined up.
And again, I'm hoping to get a really star-studded person to come and sing the national anthem, which will be very profound. We're going to have organ music that's just it's going to rock. Patriotic music. We're going to have a few YouTube videos.
Are you going to, I was going to say, are you going to broadcast YouTube and Facebook too?
I don't know. That's
you
a
should
great
do
question.
a live Facebook from the Winning with Women or something.
Leslie Van Borsen, that's a big question for you.
That.
Can Mike Shaw help us with that? Live from Shepherd of the Valley. Great question.
You know,
I don't know.
On that thought, I was at home. I couldn't go to the Trump rally. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go and try to find it on TV. I couldn't. So what do? We went on YouTube to find it. That's how it is now anymore. Mm-hmm. So as you're watching us and we're broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook, this is going to be the future. You can't depend on the TV stations. Yeah. Even the TV station, I went somewhere and says, we're going to be broadcasting live on our YouTube channel or something like that.
Yeah.
Armin, I thank you so much for your internship. You are the incredible intern. Do you want to leave some closing thoughts with our audience?
This is probably the most important election.
Whoa!
I think the future of America will be decided by this election. Yep. So it may be a blue wave, but Arizona will stay red. So
yes,
I would like to say it's going to be a red wave. I'm hoping and praying that it is, and I think what I'm getting the indication that it may be a red wave. Everywhere Trump goes, he just fills up those stadiums, the venues, and you see the people behind. They're passionate about him and about what he's done for our country. The other thing is, remember the early ballots, people. You have to. It's an early ballot for a reason. You have to fill it out and send it in before the 30th. If you don't, then take it to your nearest polling place up to the day of the election and drop it in the drop box. All you have to do is go up here, just drop it, and you can leave. I mean, you don't even have to stand in line. You just come and drop it in the box. It's like the drop box is like a mailbox at the polling places. There's going to be 300 and something or 400 polling places open on the day of the election. So a lot of them near where you live. So do drop those early ballots. And if you didn't get an early ballot, please come to the elections office either the 27 days before, because we're open every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Come to one of the early voting sites. I'll be at ASU.
Are those open now already?
Yes, we have about 12 open right now. I couldn't give you the addresses, but I mean, they're The ones at ASU and the Tempe Museum, I'll be there. Those open on the 27th, and they're open all the way till November the 6th. I'll be at ASU, and I'll be going to different locations. But on the 27th, you'll probably see me at ASU. All you students over there, come say hi to Jorge, Don Jorge. And I'm like, well, no, I can't get political, so just say hi, and I'll just say hi. You know, just,
Quietly say hi.
We'll keep it under the radar because I can't be political. But you could just say hi. But come over there, vote your preference. Don't. I'm not telling you to vote any other way, but. Now I can say the Republicans and the Conservatives, vote Republican. Now, when I'm over there at ASU, I can't tell you nothing other than I can assist you on the kiosks and stuff like that. But you'll see them in the background because the inspectors and the marshals will be doing the work. I'm just a troubleshooter. I handle trouble.
Good.
George?
I'm not a troublemaker, but I'm just
Well, you're a troublemaker too, yeah, be honest now.
And what else was I going to say?
It's good to have you back,
I hope
buddy.
you get your. Oh, what about the cocotazos? Do you want to say something? A couple of
Well,
cocotazos?
we didn't have our list together, and
okay.
our producer, Secret Sonia, poor thing, she's been really, really busy, so she hasn't been able to work on that. But that's okay. But if you follow our Facebook site, we have plenty of cocotazo alerts. There was one. Did you see that man who went after the woman at the? They were getting ready to do a crosswalk, and he was just shouting obscenities at her and said, "You and your husband," she goes, "My husband died in 9/11. It's just, there's just horrible behavior going on there. I don't know, it's awful. It's like, if I was a mom and dad, it'd be like, how were you raised? Goodness gracious. I want to give...
you're going to have the Patriots USA over the off-ramp, I think it's on the 22nd or something like that. They're going to be waving flags on off the I-10 and 16th Avenue. In Tucson, they haven't given the location, but go on your web and look for Patriots USA. They're going to be on 4 different locations, and I know one is off the I-10 and 16th. I believe it's 16th Street and I-10. They're going to be waving flags, supporting all Republican GOP candidates.
Who's doing that? The Patriots?
Yeah, it came out. I just didn't write the date down, but go to your website and look up Patriots.
Go to what website? What is it? Is it Arizona Patriots?
Yeah, Arizona.
They're doing it. Maybe you can look that up. Put it on the Facebook site.
Yeah,
you can put it on our Facebook site.
It'll be on our Facebook site. I'll put it up for everybody.
And also, if you follow the Republican Briefs, that's Frosty Taylor
right.
stuff. She has everything on there. If you're a Republican, you have to subscribe to that because she has everything on there. All events, whatever you need.
And I'm going to give a shout out to Susan Tinsdale, who runs Mega for Arizona.
Yes,
she is an amazing patriot. She kicks some major butt out there and shares some great information.
And they're going to be involved in that flag waving too.
Sweet.
Yeah, Susan.
And yeah, Susan, especially you're like a super chipster.
She's
Susan
my
Tyndall.
buddy, Susan. I'm always talking about.
You need
Susan.
to come do the show too.
She does.
Come back on
She's
here.
fabulous.
And be here.
She
She's
has
awesome.
been on our
She's
show,
been
and I invite you, Susan. Come back on our show from Mega.
Yeah.
Make America Great Again.
I don't have who we're going to have on next week yet, but I want you to know that we're coming up on Veterans Day, and I'm going to try to get. We have a lot of veteran friends now. You know, we should just have them all come. We have so many wonderful ones. But Ronnie Jimenez is one of our favorite guys.
We'll have a plethora of them here.
Are you going to be here? You should be here. Hopefully, around
I'll
that time.
probably be.
We're so lucky to have you. I haven't had you on for a while. Hope you come back.
The football games are almost over, so I'll be here more often.
Good.
And the elections, of course, I'm going to be working just one Saturday for the elections on the 27th, and the rest of the Saturdays I'm clear. So I will be here, and we're going to party down here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a party, a plethora of guests, and we're just going to have I love the word plethora, by the way.
He loves the word plethora. I just also want to give a plug for growing our gustas, our likes. We got to grow our gustas because we're like at 34, growing our gustas.
Yeah,
to gustar is to like. That's why I'm growing. I thought it was cute, George. You don't like it?
Gustas.
Growing the goose. Sounds like a goose, huh? Somebody's.
Yeah, you got to be kind of.
But anyway, we would love to get
Martha McSally. A1. He wouldn't work hard, right?
All right, so that is it. I think we're done for the Chips and Salsa Show this edition. Be with us next week here on Facebook Live at Chips, letter N Salsa Show.
And we're getting all the bugs out, so we're getting better and better and better. And we did YouTube one of the first times since we've done it in a long time, so we had a kind of little
bumpy.
technical
That's okay.
issues. But with Armin behind the scene now, everything's getting good.
And if you have a suggestion for a new name, that's good. We thought about conservative salsa. Sonia's been trying some different things, but we can't always use them because somebody else has them. So we're open for suggestions. Okay, anything else, George,
No, that's about
Leslie,
it.
Armin?
You're awesome.
Thank you,
You
dear.
guys are amazing. Thank you so
You're
much.
awesome.
You're awesome.
And you're
great.
awesome.
You
guys
are awesome,
Chipsters.
The chipsters out there that listen to us.
All right.
So, thank you for listening.
All right, we'll see you next week. Guac on.
Walk on. We're still on YouTube. We're off of Facebook.
We're still on the